Hello and welcome to ArtDay. My name is Sarah, I'm the artist by Pinselgeschichten, and today, with my wonderful, still stuffy nose, because I still have a cold, I am back from vacation and I want to work on some more artwork. It's the first video recording post-vacation, so yep. I have to get back into the groove. Well, it's the first art video. It hasn't been the first video. Anyway, rambling, and I only got 2 hours to work, so on this video, so let's get going. I don't expect this to be the longest project ever, but still I don't want to steal any more time from you than I, well, do, because nobody's got time for nothing. It's time, as the title of the video says, to send out the December random act of kindness. Every month, if you are new to the channel and have no idea what I'm rambling about here, every month I send 5 cards with 5 tiny art projects. They are about this size. I send them to random people in public offices in Germany. Every month has another city with another letter. This month it's going to be L, a city starting with L. I haven't decided yet which city it's going to be. That will be happening post production of this video, and then I'm going to send these letters out with a nice note with a theme and stuff, and well, a little art project just to say hi to people and make them smile. And I'm sending them to public offices because I don't want anybody to feel as if they are stalked, because I'm not stalking people. But also I find that, well, very often in our jobs, we're just hanging in there instead of really enjoying the heck out of it. So there's things that we have to deal with that we don't want to deal with, that are annoying, that are exhausting. And, well, there's hardly any, well, happiness in receiving a letter in your job. It's just work most of the time. So I want to make sure that once in a while people get some nice mail, and this is pretty much what this is here. Now, the theme for December, of course, you can see it on the gold cards and such. It's going to be Christmas or end of year celebration. Well, I think everybody should celebrate the Christmas time as they like, as their culture and their religion or their upbringing or their friends, their social circles feels like celebrating. So I don't subscribe to any particular way of celebrating, but I found it existential that you use the end of the year or some time in the year to reflect and to see, okay, where was I? How did it go? Where do I want to go? Just pick a spot and reflect. Pick a spot any day in the year and reflect on that day. And for me personally, it is the end of the year. And I want to, well, remind people of that with this month's random act of kindness, that it's not only about shopping, commercial overload, to put it nicely, and it's not only about the one thing, it's about all the things. And that is so cryptic. Oh God, I should probably just start working while I keep on chatting. So I'm starting with the cards, and I want to have this as the pattern paper on top, some of these envelopes. I usually keep my greeting cards rather simple, but I put the work in the art cards. And while I explain some more, what I mean with we tend to forget sometimes what it's all about, or we sometimes also, well, go into the other direction maybe a bit too much, meaning that we deny ourselves pleasures that I think everybody on this earth deserves. But I just want to, well, send people a note and remind them, hey, usually the way down the middle is best, and managing expectations is a really great thing to not get hurt or sad on that one particular day that, well, advertisements and such hype so much since September, folks. September. It's a little, it's too much for my personal taste, but we are getting hyped for that one day, and we get enough time to dream about that one day, how it's going to be this year, or we can, well, be very mellow and dwell on what horrible feelings we're going to have on that particular day if, well, sorry, shit goes down in your life. But we're being hyped, or we're being pressured into expecting something that is maybe not really helpful. It could lead to heartache, it could lead to pessimism, it could lead to a solid depression, or it could lead to just being really sad on that one day when you realize that what you dream of or what you are seeing in the commercials and such is so not what real life is. And I find that is, well, of course it is maybe more prone to happen when you're at an age where you're more influenceable, maybe. However, I also find that it has way more power when you're maybe in a more vulnerable spot in your life. So that's why I want to send out notes saying, hey, make the best of what you got, because this is definitely what I'm going to do this Christmas. And, well, find something that makes you happy in a way that nobody can get in between that thing and you. It could be a thought, it could be a memory. I'm not talking about, hey, it has to be that diamond ring. It could be that diamond ring if it is what that thing that makes you so content and happy no matter what is going on around you and in your life. Or it could be a memory, it could be a smell, it could be a dish, it could be so many things. And I find that this year I, well, want to remind people of that, because actually this morning the Christmas markets in Germany opened. So the Monday after Death Sunday, which was yesterday, I'm filming this a week ahead. If you are with me for a while, you know that. It's Monday, the 27th, and the Christmas markets opened, and the first thing on the news that I saw this morning when I woke up is that in a city very close to my house, they do have those, what they call terror barriers, meaning they've got like huge bags of granite gravel or something, and they have to be of a certain weight and a certain dimension, and to not scare the people away from the Christmas market and not to have them, well, worried all the time. You know what they did? They wrapped this bag in Christmas wrapping, which is, on the one hand, I get it, and it's a nice touch. On the other hand, what the fuck is going on, people? People are not dumb, and no matter if you wrap, excuse my French, shit nicely, it's gonna be shit nonetheless. So I just wanna well, counteract, maybe. That's the word, that people are not scared all the time, not... and by the way, I'm going more for the red theme than the green theme. That's why I'm bringing in a second paper. So yeah, that's something I want to say to people. Don't be afraid all the time. Don't stress all the time. It's not helpful to stress all the time. Don't say that you should be oblivious either. Not at all. But give your heart and your head and your soul some rest. Otherwise you're going mad. Yeah. And so I am trying to bring something to people in the art piece stuff. Not the greeting card per se, but the art piece that is quite tranquil, but also kind of powerful. I hope I'm going to succeed. But before I start with the art cards, I have the gold cards because I wouldn't use them for any other thing. I don't have any jubilees or anniversary coming up, so I can use them for Christmas. And I've got 5 cards. They came in a pack from a local coffee shop that sometimes sells crafty things as well. It's called Chibo. If you're not in Germany, you would probably not recognize it. But I don't even have a comparison to any international stores that are that way. So sorry about that. But I'm sorry also for coughing and sniffling and such. I'm really trying to keep this as well as non-offensive as possible when it comes to sounds. I'm just going to use double-sided tape, sticky tape, to glue these bits down because I don't want to have wet glue on these bits. I don't have that much of the sticky tape left, so I'm going to have the short side be the ones to glue down. Usually I take the long side of a rectangle when I work with this tape on the cards, but I have to resupply before I can work on the long sides again. Sorry. So yeah, that was the Monday morning ramble. I hope your weekend has been great. Currently it's really grey and rainy and quite stormy actually outside, so we got quite some storm coming in. There have been warnings. They're not the, oh, Earth's gonna fall apart and it's not a hurricane warning or something. But we have quite the autumn storm or winter storms, and they come with a lot of rain. And that's what's happening, and that's what has been happening all weekend. It was grey and kind of doomy gloomy, with heavy clouds and just windy and, well, cold. So that's maybe something as well why I chose the golden cards, because they make a really yellow, nice, warm light here while I work. So they counteract the cold white lights that I have for filming, and also the cold gray outside that is not a lot of fun. But hey, I don't have to leave the house today, so I'm good. Hoping that it's better tomorrow, because I gotta leave the house tomorrow. Gotta go food shopping. That's one thing post-vacation. Getting back into the rhythm every time, no matter if I had the greatest time ever or if things are kind of bumpy. I find it so difficult to get back into the routine of, okay, you go food shopping on those days, you cook on these days, and on those days you have a cold kitchen, so meaning somebody else cooks for me. Especially when I come back with a jet lag, I find it so difficult. It's actually the first day that I got out of bed before 2 p.m. since I returned, but well. It was expected because I'm always dealing with jet lag. I didn't have any vacation yet with any other time zone being involved where I didn't have a jet lag. So, yeah. Anyway, now the fun starts with the release paper. Let's see how I do this month. I have really short nails. So that is not helping. Oh, come on. And for all you guys who are wondering, who have seen a recent talk o'clock saying that, well, my private life is really hell currently and very exhausting and difficult. As of today, or today at least, I'm doing good. I don't know what tomorrow will be like, but today I'm good. And this is not centered, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So I should maybe get an idea first. Let me get the idea first while I say it. Sheesh. How much space do I need to leave? About 2 millimeters. All right. So, yeah. Things are bumpy. I'm exhausted. But I still, well, have something to laugh about at least once a day. I mean, there were like 2 or 3 days where there was no laughter at all. I mean, not even with the heaviest sarcasm on earth. There was nothing, not even, I don't know, a really bad joke or something like that. But all the other days, and it's not releasing. All the other days there was at least something I could laugh about, so I find that very helpful. And I also find artwork very helpful. So I was actually really looking forward to coming to the studio today and working on art stuff. I mean, I've been working in the studio, meaning I did video editing work. I had Gamer's Couch to work on, but that's not artwork. That's something different, and it feels different in the studio when I just work on that. But I was really looking forward to get into the studio and be artsy and do something that, well, I hope will bring a smile on somebody's face. And another thing, I was for a hot second, maybe like not even 10 seconds, I was actually considering moving this random act of kindness project to the next week and doing something else today, maybe an art journal page or something. And then maybe I kind of had glimpses of the final decision. Do not do that. Actually, late last night, but this morning while I was making my tea for the studio, by the way, let me have a sip. I decided, no, I need to put some good thoughts and some positive energy and some good karma out into the world. I cannot just take energy from the universe, whatever you want to call it, and Well, I just really, in my gut, it felt the decision to not care about me for a couple of hours, but to care about other people whom I never met, who I don't know anything about, but who live in a city, or work in a city, better said, work in a city in my country. Just to, well, care about them and try to put a smile on their face. It felt so good in my gut that I decided, no, I'm not gonna wait for another week. I'm gonna send this out right away and have them receive the letter before the first Advent comes around, which is next Sunday. And I mean, end of year can be either really great or really, really hard for people. So maybe if I happened to have a recipient who's maybe not feeling that great, maybe I can give him a small boost of energy with one of these cards and before the whole Christmas shebang starts. So that's why I just went with my gut and pushed for it. No, I'm going to do this week. So the cards are done. I'm gonna write something on those. I haven't decided yet, so I'm going to put these to the side for now, and then I'm going to work on my art cards. So I thought, hey, gold, awesome, right? Let's have some shimmer and shine. So these art cards are 7 by 9 centimeters, and they all should fit on this A4 golden cardstock piece of paper. Because, yeah, and I even have something left, so I could punch out, I don't know, an angel or a Christmas tree, because I have these punchers. Maybe for the greeting cards, but this is double-sided cardstock of shimmer paper, and I want this kind of like a matting. It should be something with a frame like on the greeting cards, and then I will have the art piece on top. So I actually do still have enough to use the sticky tape on the art cards too. If I happen to run out, I do have this glue stick thing that should work for cardstock on cardstock as well. At least it did for me in the past. So, but I love dry glue when I work layering like this, because the art piece that I'm gonna put on top, I have to use wet glue probably to glue that down. So maybe I could at least have less bumpiness going on by using this sticky tape here for the matting. We'll see how it goes. But yeah. I wonder if you have any art projects or creative things that you want to do with your friends and family during the December season. I'm gonna stop and say Christmas season, but maybe December season. I wonder if you write your own end of year cards, if you make them on your own. I would love to know what you are working on or what you want to work on during this last month of the year. If you want to let me know, the comment section is yours, and I would very much appreciate if you would tell me, because I'm just curious how people how they spend their little, I guess, leisure time around these holidays that are very stressful and, well, marketed to us in a way as well, saying, hey, you got to do everything from scratch. Everything has to be handmade. What they don't tell you is that it needs a lot of time for all the things, and that you should probably start in July to have everything done by December. So I wonder, do you choose one little project and a big one, or do you, I don't know, choose many different projects? Do you actually start in July to, excuse me, have everything ready for December? I don't know. I'm just curious how you handle the creative and artwork part of end of year season. You saw that on my channel I did make the Christmas cards already. They're actually going to be sent out this week as well. And what was I about to say? Shoot, I forgot my train of thought. Oh yeah, I did the advent calendar project. That was, I think it was just on a taco clock. I didn't want to spoil anything there, but I did that project. And now I'm making these cards here and these art cards. And then I'm done. I'm not having any other projects planned. It could be that I don't know, coming up with something during the next couple of days or weeks or something that I want to do, and that is related to end of year celebrations. But I don't have anything planned at this point. I'm not trying to exhaust myself this year because I have to take care of other things, and maybe I should well, be careful not to burn out and make sure that I got energy for all the things that I need it for. So I'm restraining myself from all the projects. But funny enough, I didn't really want to do that much this December anyways. I don't know what it is. Usually I have December off. I have an advent calendar kind of project running where I, well, recorded the videos way ahead of time and worked on them in summer actually. But this year, no. It's not, it's weird, and that's fine. But I think I just want to keep going with my normal schedule and do a couple of art projects during the week and not have extra end of year stress on top. Oh, let me put this down. I'm keeping a little, I don't know if you can see, but here's a little gap. I just want to make sure that I have the whole white cardstock covered with the golden cardstock, so I'm leaving a gap there to be able to cut right on the corner here. Because I'm really bad with straight lines, also when it comes to gluing, so I want to have a little excess that I can cut away where I already had a card just to make sure that the lines are straight and everything, so. Excuse me. Two more cards and then I can get to painting. So for this art piece here, usually I work with mixed media, so meaning collage bits, acrylic paint, color pencils. That's what I have been working with all year long, I think, on these art cards. I don't think I had a... Oh, did I? Oh, no. I had one project, I think it was March, where I worked with stamping and such. The one with the flower seeds, the spring version. That was not with a collage in the sense of collage paper and acrylics and making a scenery or a theme there. But I think all the other months had mainly collage, acrylics, and color pencil. And this month I want to move to a very different medium and a very different art style. Maybe it's a cleaner art style in the end. It's definitely cleaner in the sense that I will use very few colors, and with the gold matting here, it calms the piece down even more. But I want to work with watercolors today. I have a watercolor piece glued on top of these golden cardstocks here. I'm so sorry. Let me have a sip of tea. With a lot of honey in it. So I think that's a nice change from the other art cards this month. I still haven't decided what I'm gonna do for next year for the Random Act of Kindness project, how, if, when, blah, I'm going to continue that. I haven't decided. And I think that's okay. I will keep it going in one way or another. I don't have to decide everything today. So they are done, and I'm going to put them to the side, all but one, because now math is happening. And we all know how great that works for me sometimes. So I said this was 7 by 9. Let me see, 9 centimeters and 7, yes. So I want to have half of a centimeter from all sides that the golden matting is visible. So that would be 1 centimeter in total, which would make this 8 by 6. So I need 5 pieces that are 8 by 6. 5 pieces, 8 by 6. Let me bring in the watercolor paper. I'm working on a Hanemühle watercolor paper. It's quite the big block, because I think that if I do math correctly, I could actually have one strip of this paper in this direction, and it would be long enough. So this is 30 by 40 centimeters. Is it size? Yeah, 30 by 40. And sorry, I need a paper and a pen. Let's take this paper pad out. I bumped against the mic, I think. Sorry. So let's do some math. 6 by 8. 6 by 5 is 30 centimeters, which, I said that number, right? And 8 by 5 is 32 plus 40, yeah. So I could actually go with the long side. I could go with the short side and work like that as well, but I could also go with the long side and then hack up the pieces. So I'm definitely gonna do that, just because, well, whatever is left, I will use it for other paintings. And I think it's just a nicer format to have it cut like this and have this part as a remaining thing instead of this part. I like the long, narrow rectangles. So I'm going to go for the long strip. Let's see. I have to tape down stuff because I don't want the whole thing, the whole watercolor part to run where it's not supposed to go. But I also want something like a white frame on my watercolor pieces. So I think, sorry for the noise, I think at least the top and bottom I should tape to have a little bit of a frame there on my art card. It will again make it look clean and calmer. So I think I should do that now. Math again. Let's say this is where the gluable piece starts. I had said 6 centimeters. So that would be here. Which means that this is 6 centimeters. Just a very little mark. And I have to go a little higher because I also want, with the tape I mean, because I also want the white border on the bottom, but not to the right and to the left, because I'm going to paint one big scenery, I think, and just cut it up into multiple pieces. So how far is that? Oh, that looks good. Question is it straight? Let's measure. 5'1". It needs to be a little higher. Is it just 5'1"? Yeah. 5'1", okay. See, I really have trouble with straight lines. I did not exaggerate. Alright, let's go like this. And you know, now I can paint a scenery on this strip and not have to paint 5 individual pieces, but can go all in one, dry it off, and then cut it up into 5 pieces. Excuse me. So now, watercolors. Watercolors, I do have the palette next to me. And I would think I want to go with indigo a lot. So this very dark blue up here. And I want to have a wintry scene or a winter forest maybe. And every bit has to have some little focal point, but I mainly want this to be, well, a scenery. So let me think. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do, but I need a bigger brush to water things down. Hold on. Okie dokie, paper towel. Let's see, on what row are you? You should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. Yeah, you're that one. Okay. Things. So what I want to do, I'm going to take one of my brushes, a not too fat one maybe, but no. Yeah, let's go with the one that I know what it does. And I want to have some water here to have blendy things going on. So I'm just going for a hillside. And I'm just painting in the hills or the mountains with water, and then I'm gonna bring in the indigo color, and like that I can layer things. So meaning I can have the background be rather blurry with this watery bit, and then dry it off and bring in some more focused color, and that will make it look different. So just going to bring this in, let it run. And then spread it with some water. And that makes a very transparent light layer that I can then add more color to bring in the first shadows. So I'm just separating the main three mountains or hills, whatever you want to call them. So let me clean my brush, and I'm just going to pull this little bit of light ice blue up here so that you can distinguish the mountain from the background. Let me quickly dry this, and then I can work on the sky and then come back to the foreground and have the focal point in there. All right, let's turn you. For the next bit, I want to do the sky. Let me check colors. Where did I put? Oh, there. So I have the indigo that has to also be in the sky, and I kind of like the Payne's gray because it has a cool touch. The indigo has the warm touch. That should be a very nice combo with a little bit of the purple. So I'm going to mix that. Payne's gray, I said. I'm just gonna use my, the thing that you can see. Ha! Let me show you. Awful. So a little bit of Payne's gray. And a little bit of the indigo. Indigo was here. And then just a smidge of the purple. That would be here. Just a little bit. All right. And now I'm wetting the sky, but I'm leaving a little border between the sky here and the mountains because I don't want the colors to run into each other. And when you put water on top of watercolor that has already dried, you reactivate it and it will bloom and such. So I don't want that. That's why I'm keeping a little bit of a border, and I'm dabbing in the Payne's gray first. That's kind of like maybe the late afternoon sky or something. It's just getting dark. Okay, maybe I need a little more Payne's gray. And then going in with the indigo, dab that into the Payne's gray. Because the sky, when you look at it, is never just gray. It has a tint to it, sometimes yellow, sometimes blue, sometimes even red. So I'm just going to have that here because it, well, kind of reflects the sky from, not the sky, the mountainside. So now I'm bringing in a little bit of purple into that mix. Just have that as the color closest to the mountains. Don't want to be too strong with the purple, so I'm really mixing it with the Payne's gray or the blue on the palette before I even bring it to the paper, but I want a bit of a purple touch there. So now that I have that, I can bring in more Payne's gray. Because clouds. Now I have to turn it again so that I can see right side up where I need maybe a bit more defined things. Pretty much everywhere. So let's dry this, and then I bring in the smaller brush that has the water tank at the bottom, and that will give me more control with the way I apply the colors. Alright, now that it actually dried back, I really like the cloud structure way more. So I'm just going to enhance some of those clouds. And I'm using the same colors, the Payne's Gray and the purple and the indigo blue. I just have a little less water because I have a smaller brush, and that makes things look different and maybe a bit more concentrated. So I'm just going to have a few dark clouds here. And if something is too dark, I can always just go in with the water in the brush and have the pigment be dabbed away beforehand. But I like actually that some parts are a bit darker. Not all clouds are kind of light. And the same goes for this part. Clouds are actually really easy to paint with watercolors, as you see here, at least stylized clouds. I mean, going in front of the mountain a little bit, because clouds are not always just behind the mountain. They cut over in front of the mountain too. They're kind of rebellious that way. One up higher here. There we go. Now, for the focal points, 5 pieces. Maybe I should mark them on the tape so that I know in which section I should have the focal points. So what did I say? 8 centimeters, right? 8 centimeters. That would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need to have a couple of trees, that's for sure. Maybe some little huts or something. Maybe just a great awesome tree with maybe just a shooting star with some parts, but I'm gonna bring in a lot of the indigo blue. I still have a lot of Payne's Gray on my palette. So I'm going to mix the two and just get going. So let's start on the right so that I don't smudge anything. In this section, I want trees. Not too many, because the tree line in the mountains doesn't go too high. But some of them are definitely a nice thing to have. And I always also have to make sure that I reload my brush. And then some, maybe a little gap, and then here, 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 here. This is a very simple way of painting trees, but when you have a rather dark, dusky kind of twilight situation going on, there's not a lot of details you can make out, especially when you look from afar, which is what the viewer is supposed to do here in my painting. So I can be rather rough, but still you see some details, but not too many. So with a few lines you actually get away of painting a tree. Sorry. I wonder if I can really make it through a couple of videos recording today, or if my throat and my voice will say, you can have one video recorded, but that's that, Sarah. Don't be so greedy. So we'll see. Have to thin things down a bit. Just to. And I also have to water things down, because here I have a white gap. And I don't want a white gap at the frame or the end of this picture. So I'm pulling the pigment that I had laid down in the background. Okay, more trees for the second frame, but a little different. So there's this curve going on that I'm going to emphasize or enhance the visibility of that curve, because that could be grass, gravel, whatever it is, and the rest on top is snow or icy bits maybe. But I'm definitely gonna enhance that part and bring it into the piece to the right, and there sits a little tiny hut. So I'm just going to have a little house. On this mountainside. And then of course a few bushes or trees, so going to have a few trees here as well. They're even further away than the ones here on this side, so I can paint them quite smaller. And the next one, I don't know that yet. Oh, what the next one's gonna get. Should be from here to here, so maybe, because that is very clean, so maybe just trees. Trees, trees, trees. It should be tranquil, and the forest in winter is tranquil. It's not as noisy as in spring or summer when all the animals are awake. Some of them are in hibernation at this time, so the forest is a little less noisy. And a little more quiet and tranquil. So let's have some more. Maybe one big tree with lights on, or yeah, like a Christmas tree. I don't know. I don't want to go for shooting stars, or maybe just splatters. I like that idea. To have maybe the first stars peek through those clouds in the sky. That could be something. Maybe two more. One on this part, and just a tiny one here. That's number 3. Maybe it needs one more over here. Number 4 needs another, maybe ski lift? Yep, ski lift. So we need to have the little house thing going on here. And then also down here. And a little more Payne's Gray just to darken things up. And even maybe a little bit more. And then with a very thin line. I'm hardly putting any pressure on this because I really want the line to be very thin. But I don't want to use a marker. I want this to be a watercolor painting. So there we got Just a little of these gondolas going upwards. And of course, because I like nature, there have to be a few trees. So let's see, over here. And it goes this far, so of course also over here. And number 5. I think it just gets another of the tranquil, lots of trees scenes there. I like that it makes a whole picture before I cut it apart. So I don't want to have, excuse me, don't want to have 15 huts or something, 5 ski lifts or stuff, gondolas and such on that one little mountainside. So I'm just gonna keep it mostly trees. Alright. Just a little more. Okay, I'm gonna dry this and then I'm going to decide if I want to have stars by maybe having gouache splattered or white watercolor, though I like gouache better because it sits on top of the watercolor a bit more. But first I'm gonna dry things off. So it definitely needs the splatter. But I think I also want some controlled white paint in there, so I'm going to use my gel pen, at least for some of the parts, like here for the house. Have that, and also here for the gondola. Because if it drives at night, there's probably gonna be should be shooting stars or something. Let's give you a North Star. This got one, this. Number 3 and number 5 are, well, I could definitely have a shooting star here. Because there's enough things to see. And here, because the mountain is so high, what do I want to, well, another star then. I don't know what else to put there. Because the moon, no, it's not working so well with the moon. It's just a little, I mean, the moon would be up here and there's just too little space, so I think this is better. But now I need the gouache. And I need a little bit of a palette. I'm just taking one for my, one of my acrylic paint palettes. I just need a little bit of gouache, not too much. It's just really a smidge, but it has to go in there. Go in there. There we go. And I need water. Where did I? Oh, there. It's just and a brush with lots of water, lots of water. I'm taking one of the fan brushes here because it really makes for a nice drippage. All right, still have to clean you up. And then here we go. So I'm covering the parts that I want no splatters at as best as I can. So I don't want this part. Just need very little things, little parts here. And also here. because it is a rather small scenery. Maybe a bit more here. The big stars. Cleaning off my brush and my desk before everything dries. And also drying off the tape, just to make sure it's maybe a bit easier to then peel off the tape. So now I need a new paper. Going to clean the palette, and then I'm going to dry this piece, peel off the tape, and then cut everything to the right size so that I can put it onto the golden excuse me, cardstock. So okie dokie, let's release let's peel off the paper, not let's release anything. Words sometimes don't come easy. Alright, whoopsie. Number 1. It will rip a bit, which is fine for me. That actually gives texture on the bigger pieces where I keep the whole frame. Here I'm going to cut parts of it, so I don't mind. And now I'm gonna take a palette knife and take this piece of paper from the pad. I just have to find the right corner to do so. Here it is. This corner is the one. And now I can how am I gonna do it? I'm going to cut it into strips first, maybe? No, I don't want to. This paper cutter is a little bit too short to do awesome things. Gosh. Okay, so I have to cut it into smaller strips, otherwise I'm not going to be able to cut this straight, because again, I'm so not able to cut things straight. So I'm just going to put the watercolors away. Sorry. I'm just going to, oh gosh. Have markings at the 8 centimeter mark. And then I'm gonna cut the strips. It's again gonna be a narrow piece of paper that I'm gonna have left, but it's not as big as I thought it would be. But okay, I mean, maybe I have to have a larger paper trimmer at one point, but not today. That is number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Oh gosh. Number 3. And number 4 and 5. Alright. Moment of truth. Did I cut it the way? Yeah, that's not too shitty. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's okay, I think. So now I can cut each individual strip. How can I measure it best? So this one is at 2.5 centimeters. So just 2 millimeters in. Okay. Same on the other side. 2 millimeters in. It's a little fiddly this way. I wish I would have been able to cut the long sides first and then just cut on the 8 centimeter marks, but I think that's fine too. So that would be number 1. Number 2. Sorry. And I'm just looking now at the markings down here. I know it's not visible on camera, but there's inches and centimeters. And I'm just gonna remember at what point I did cut what paper. What side of the paper, I mean. So that's all I'm doing. There we go. So now what I gotta do is, of course, glue all these pieces to the golden cardstock so that it looks something like this. I think I don't have enough sticky tape, so I'm definitely just gonna take paper glue for that. Going to the edges as much as I can without gluing myself to the table, and leaving any markings behind that would maybe then sit on the front of the next piece. So I'm making sure that I stay on the paper. And not go to the table accidentally. And yes, those long pauses between parts of the sentence are a must-have. I'm sorry. I feel that I'm getting scatterbrained. So I'm trying to make sure that I speak cohesively, but sometimes it's just a little more difficult than I thought. I think you know the feeling, do you? Do you ever, well, not have a squirrel moment, because it is not a squirrel moment, but are you sometimes just so, well, living in your head, or thoughts popping into your head that take away the attention from what you were actually doing, like speaking and forming a sentence? I sometimes have that. Not too often, I hope. At least I don't feel that I do have that every day, but I do have it, well, at least every couple of weeks. Clean off my hands from the glue. That's one thing that is really maybe a little more tricky with this kind of paper, where you can see every little bit on the shimmer part, to not have your fingerprints there with glue or something. Just, it's maybe not that attractive or that beautiful. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning. Oh gosh. Okay, last two pieces. And then I can go into the final little decorational bits. And then I'm already done. Well, already, I almost took the whole 2 hours. I know the video is a little shorter than the actual working time, because I cut out the blow drying part and such, but on my clock I have 27 minutes left. And I think that is the perfect time to do final decorations and, well, little details and such. Don't think I have to add a lot, because I think these pieces here speak for themselves. Maybe I will add a little more white gel pen to some bits, but actually no, I don't think so. Do I need marker? Black marker maybe? No, not really. I think they are just fine the way they are. I think I want to keep them that way. So I only will stamp my handmade by Pinselgeschichten on the back side. But I need to finish the cards. I think I'm just gonna write for you on the front. And if you happen to be a non-German speaker, here's your German lesson of the day. You is either du or sie in German. Sie also means she, so there's two different types of sie. This is the if you don't know the person privately, if you're not on a first name basis, it's like a sir or madam, that kind of level. It's very professional, business like. So that's why I'm writing for you, not für dich, but für sie. Because this goes to public offices and I have no idea who the people are that will receive these cards. So yeah. Do I want maybe a little punchy thing, a star or something? A little Christmas tree? No, there's a Christmas tree. I do angel, maybe not. A golden star. I can try one and see if I want it, but I'm not sure actually at this point. So let me punch a star. No, it's just not. It's not doing anything for me, does it? No, not really. No, I think I'm just gonna leave it. It's just not fitting together, so I'm gonna leave it the way it is. Punches get back into their spot without throwing them, Miss King. So yeah, that would be, I think this is where I'm gonna leave it. This is where I'm going to leave my art day. This is just enough. This is like a puzzle. Let me bring the pieces together again. So you were here, you were here, and you were here. Yay! Ta-da! So this is the final Random Act of Kindness installment for 2017. I hope you enjoyed watching along. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I will have the blog up by now, so if you want to know what watercolors I used or what kind of glue did I use there, I'm not having all the brands exactly there, but if I know that you could definitely achieve the same thing with another brand from your country, you don't need to import it from my country, because carbon footprint, you just don't need to. But for example, for the watercolors, I will definitely name the exact watercolors that I used, so that you can take a look if you liked something that I used here, or just a color combination and want to be reminded again, what colors was that again? I do have that set, but which colors was it? So that will be on the blog, as well as the offices that I'm actually sending this to. So you can take a look there, and there will be close-up photos of the greeting cards and the art cards as well. So feel free, the link to my webpage is in the description box below, and you can find all the information there, all the bloggy things. So thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful week. Take good care. And I'm gonna see you hopefully on the next art video. Have fun, guys, and happy week. Again, thanks for watching. Bye.